Okay, so we're back for another deep dive.
Always exciting.
Yeah, and this time we're going to be looking at Crater Lake National Park.
Oh, cool.
And we've got a really interesting mix of sources this time
Oh,
around.
yeah. Like what?
So we've got some news reports talking about some pretty big changes coming up for the park, a government briefing that gets into the nitty-gritty of what those changes are all about, and even
Right.
a YouTube video that dives into some of the, let's say, more unusual aspects of the park.
Unusual, huh? I'm intrigued.
Oh, yeah. You know me, I love those kinds of rabbit holes.
Well, Crater Lake itself is already pretty remarkable, right? I
Hmm.
mean, deepest lake in the U.S., formed from a collapsed volcano, a caldera they call it, over 7,000 years ago. And that water, just so blue and clear,
Yeah.
all from rain and snow.
Yeah, it's definitely a bucket list destination for a lot of people.
Hikers, swimmers, those boat tours, the whole shebang.
And speaking of getting out on that lake, that's where the first big piece of news from these sources comes in.
Hit me with it.
They're planning to close the Cleetwood Cove Trail and Marina.
Whoa, hold up. That's how most people get to the lake, isn't it?
Exactly, the only permitted access to the shoreline.
So no swimming, no boat tours, nothing.
Sounds like it, and the timing is a little fuzzy depending on which source you're looking at.
Okay, how fuzzy are we talking?
Could be the end of summer 2025, maybe even 2026, but either way, they're saying it'll be closed until at least summer 2029.
Okay, so we're talking a solid chunk of time here.
Yeah, one report even mentioned a possible 2-year closure, so there's definitely some uncertainty there.
So if anyone was thinking of a Crater Lake trip with some lakeside action,
They better get a move on.
yeah, sounds like there's a deadline looming.
So the big question, of course, is why such a drastic closure?
Right, got to be a good reason for shutting down the only way to the shore.
And from what we've gathered, it's all about safety.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're calling it a multi-year rehabilitation project, and it seems like they've got a whole laundry list of issues to tackle.
Makes sense. I mean, you think about how many people visit Crater Lake every year,
It's got to take a toll.
for sure. All that foot traffic, erosion.
Yeah.
The briefing document even mentioned something about retaining walls getting messed up from people walking, and then the winter rains make it even worse.
Yeah, it's like that volcanic soil is just super vulnerable to wear and tear.
It's a tough balance, right? Wanting people to experience this amazing place, but also needing to protect it from, well, U.S.
Absolutely, and it's not just about the trails themselves. They also found some rockfall hazard zones, which,
Yikes.
yeah, not exactly what you want to hear when you're hiking along a cliff edge.
No kidding. And what about the marina itself? Seemed like they mentioned some issues there, too.
Oh yeah, back in 2016, the whole bulkhead and dock system had some kind of failure.
So they need to make sure that's not going to happen again.
Right. A huge safety concern, especially with all the boat tours.
And let's not forget the composting toilets.
Oh yeah, those apparently need some serious attention too.
Makes you think, right? All those visitors are awesome, but they also kind of stress the system.
For sure, it's like a constant balancing act.
So back to this closure timeline for a second. Right.
We're talking 2027 at the earliest, possibly as late as 2029.
Yeah, and that's if everything goes according to plan.
Which, let's be real, things don't always. But okay, bottom line, no shoreline access for a while.
So that means no swimming in the lake, no casual strolls along the water's edge, and definitely no boat trips out to Wizard Island.
It's a shame, but I get it. Gotta prioritize safety.
One of the articles even quoted the park's information officer saying all access to the lake will be cut off.
Whoa, that's pretty definitive.
Yeah, it seems like the only people who'll be able to get close to the water during that time are park scientists.
Okay, but silver lining, they're keeping the rim road open.
True, so you can still experience those epic views of the lake and Wizard Island.
Just from a higher vantage point.
A different kind of experience, for sure.
It makes you think about how we experience these places, right? Sometimes it's about getting up close and personal.
Sometimes it's about taking in the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the practical stuff. Now for something a little spookier.
Ooh, lay it on me. The sources also talk about this guy, Charles McCullough, who disappeared back in 1975.
1975. Okay, so we're going way back.
Yeah, he was just 19, loved photography, and planned this 4-day trip to Crater Lake in January. Never came home.
January. Crater Lake in January. That's got to be, what, snow up to your eyeballs?
Yep. One of the sources said 7 feet of snow fell during the search.
Wow. Okay, so finding this guy was basically a needle in a very snowy haystack.
Exactly. And they searched for a long time, too. Over a year and a half, multiple agencies, everything from ground teams to helicopters. Last anyone saw him, he was getting a ride from a logger near the park entrance.
So what happened? Did they ever find him?
Yeah, but not until October of 76, and it gets weird. Hikers found his remains way off trail near this place called BB Creek, and one of the rangers called him the melting man of Crater Lake.
Okay, melting man. That's just creepy. What do they mean by that?
Well, his clothes were mostly intact, which makes sense after so long, but then there are these details that just don't add up. His boots, his jacket, his camera, knives, even his pack, all gone.
Whoa. Everything important just vanished.
Yeah, they found his snacks nearby, but no other gear. And his father said he never would have left trash behind. It was totally out of character.
Right, like if you're lost in the wilderness, especially in winter, you're clinging to every bit of gear you've got.
Right. So the pathologist didn't find any signs of trauma on the bones, and the FBI's theory was hypothermia.
Okay, but that doesn't explain the missing stuff.
Exactly. And his dad totally rejected that explanation. He said the clothes were in too good of shape, his sleeping pad was neatly rolled up, and there were just too many crucial items missing. He thought there had to be foul play involved.
So what did he think happened?
He even suggested maybe someone attacked Charles and used a snowmobile to move the body, even though snowmobiles weren't allowed in that part of the park back then.
Man, this is like a true crime mystery unfolding right before our eyes.
Totally. And that's where that YouTube video, What Lurks Beneath, comes in.
Okay, I'm sensing a turn toward the paranormal here.
You got it. The video features this guy, David Polides, who's all about unsolved disappearances, especially in national parks.
Okay, so what's his take on this Crater Lake case?
He fixates on the ranger's description of the body. Empty pants, with the foot bones still inside. He calls it super strange and hints that the National Park Service might be hiding something.
Ooh, conspiracy theories. I love it. But seriously, empty pants? That is bizarre.
Right, like where did everything else go? And then the video dives into all these local legends from the Klamath people.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about those. Something about a giant crayfish monster.
Exactly. They believed Crater Lake was where this lake spirit, Lao, battled the sky spirit, Skel, and Lao could control the weather and appear as this huge crayfish.
Okay, that's just cool. Like, every place with incredible natural beauty needs a good monster story.
Right, and that sets the stage for some truly wild eyewitness accounts that the video shares.
Okay, hit me with the weirdness.
So there are these college students who claim they saw these small, creepy beings with big heads and glowing eyes near the Klamath River, and then they were approached by these shady forest rangers.
Ooh, Men in Black vibes.
Right. And then one of the students says he saw a bird serpent thing in Crater Lake itself after feeling this weird sensation in the water.
Whoa, like the lake monster is real.
Maybe. And then there's this couple driving along Rim Drive who see a 7-foot-tall wolf-headed being just standing there.
Okay, hold up. Wolf-headed. Like a werewolf.
Apparently. And as if that wasn't enough, their car suddenly dies and the creature just zips away with impossible speed.
Okay, that's just freaky. Anything else?
One more. 2 hikers on the Cleetwood Cove Trail, the one that's closing, say they saw this little girl in a white dress by the water, but when they got closer, she just vanished.
Ooh, a ghost girl. This place has it all.
Right. So the video connects all these sightings back to those local legends, like maybe it's dogmen or skinwalkers or even Bigfoot.
So we've gone from trail closures to missing hikers to cryptids and conspiracies. Quite a range.
And here's the thing. That Trail Considerations document you sent mentions disappearances as a possible reason for looking into the trail.
Whoa, really? They actually put that in writing?
Yep. It's just a quick line, almost like an afterthought, but it makes you wonder, right?
For sure. Like, is it just about safety or is there something else they're not saying?
Exactly. So, dear listener, we've thrown a lot of information at you today. We've got the very real closure coming up, this unsolved mystery from decades ago, and then all these strange stories and legends.
It really makes you think, does knowing about past disappearances change how you view the safety concerns?
Right. And do those legends and sightings add another layer to how we see Crater Lake?
Is it just a beautiful but slightly dangerous natural wonder that needs some TLC?
Or is there something more going on, something we can't fully explain, hidden beneath the surface?
What questions are swirling in your mind right now? What would you want to investigate further about this place?
That's something to ponder. And that's our deep dive for today.
Until next time.
Keep those sources coming.